Martin, will you give us your reaction to the results as it's turned out today?
Well, I have to say I'm absolutely delighted that I've brought out a very strong Republican vote. I'm over the moon about that. I think it's been tremendous and something that will undoubtedly be built upon in the future. And my brand of republicanism is here to stay. We're very much part of mainstream politics in this country, and that's going to go from strength to strength, in my opinion, in the future.
Does your intervention on the front line change the result and the outcome of this election?
Well, I think the first thing I want to do is send the warmest of congratulations to Michael D. I spoke with him earlier today and passed on my very warm congratulations. I'm absolutely delighted for him and for Sabina and for his family. I think he will make a very, very good president, and he will be my president also. So I think that obviously from my perspective, all of this has been an experience of a lifetime. And I think also for many people it's been an eye-opener. But that's for another day. I think that I raised many issues of critical importance for the people of Ireland, not least the dire economic situation and the circumstances that led to that, and the fact that we are facing into mass unemployment and mass immigration with all sorts of very extreme measures being taken which will impact on the most marginalised and disadvantaged within society.
Do you take credit for changing the outcome of the election, though, because of your intervention on Frontline?
I'm not looking for credit for anything. I'm just pleased that the election is over, that I have brought out a very strong Republican vote, which is going to continue to go from strength to strength. And I'm very pleased that Michael D has been elected as the new President of Ireland, and he will be my President also. I'm really, really very, very happy about that.
Did you ever really want to be President, Martin McGuinness?
Well, I was in the contest to win. At the same time, I knew I was up against the big battalions, and you all know who I'm speaking about. But I think that, it's been a tremendous experience, and it's something that I will remember for the rest of my life. But my political career isn't over. I think that what has happened in this election has been a further boost to republicanism and a further engagement by republicanism in the mainstream of Irish politics, and something which is going to be built upon and will continue to go from strength to strength. So we are here, and we're not going away, and we're going to continue to play a very positive and constructive role in Irish political life, north and south of the border, until such times as hopefully we will see that border removed incrementally, and we move forward in a way which brings about what I obviously want to see as a chief objective of mine, the peaceful and democratic reunification of our country.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm absolutely delighted. I think it's been a great result. It's been a further increase in the Republican vote. It's something that will be built upon, so I'm really delighted about that. And also it's the whole involvement in the election has been the experience of a lifetime for me, and for many others it's been an eye-opener.
Sean Gallagher is likely to be very disappointed today. Do you think you were the person who put an end to his campaign effectively?
Well, people will analyse the campaign from start to finish. At the beginning they said it was a dull campaign, and when I entered it they said it was electrified. So it was electrified at the beginning, and I suppose it was electrified at the end. The analysts will analyse it. All I'm satisfied about is that I participated in the democratic process as a Derryman, as an Irishman, as someone who has contributed positively to political life on this island and will continue to do so in the future.
So what's next for you now? Back to the north, back to your old job?
Well, I said at the very beginning that I would take leave of absence from the position of Joint First Minister of the North, and if I wasn't elected as President I would hope to go back to continue with that work, and that's exactly what I will do.
Martin, was it a success or a failure overall for you?
It was a huge success. I mean, to build on what is a strong Republican vote anyway, and to see it even stronger as a result of this election does my heart good. It's something that will be built upon, and I'm very confident about that. If you analyse the figures all over the country, it's been a tremendous success, and I'm very pleased that I was able to play my part in returning what is a very strong Republican vote. Naturally, during the course of the campaign I raised issues that are of concern to ordinary people, issues about the bailout, about the destruction of the Irish economy by the previous administration, about the austerity measures that are being imposed by this administration, and that work will continue, and I believe that Sinn Féin, as a party within the Dáil, will continue to work on behalf of people, effectively being the opposition, to ensure that the most marginalised and disadvantaged within society are defended in what are going to be very difficult economic times ahead.
You were put through the mincer, though. Like, personally, it was a tough campaign, wasn't it? You were attacked from all sides at one point.
Well, as I said, the handling of the campaign by my critics was an eye-opener for many people all over the island. But I'm not going to dwell on that today, except to say that I'm very happy that I was involved in the election. I expected that there would be critics who have vested interest. But from my point of view, I've come through it. Some of my sternest critics in the election, and it was effectively started by Fine Gael, the largest party in the country just a few months ago, came well behind me in this election. So I think that has to send all sorts of very important messages to those who are on a negative agenda. So, no, I have to say, when you consider, all things considered, and the way in which the big battalions lined up against me, I think I returned an excellent result.
You're not going to be waking up in the Auras. You won't be in a big bed. Are you disappointed?
Well, I'm very happy that Michael D will be waking up in the Auras, and he probably won't be in a big bed, but that's grand. I don't have any problem with that at all. I'm actually delighted for him. I think he'll make a great president, and as I said, he'll be my president also. No, I mean, my political career is far from over. I have a lot of work to do, and I will set about that with the same energy and gusto that I engaged in the presidential campaign. I mean, I'm part of an all-Ireland party, and it's an all-Ireland party that's going from strength to strength, and I'll be very much part of continuing that onward march and incrementally building on what we've achieved in the course of the last 30 years, and specifically building on the result which has come out of this election.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Michael D. Higgins, Seachtgéad agus 1,100 agus a hain, 701,101. Martin McGuinness, 243,000 agus trocha, 243,030.
Gan doubt leir dói, Sean Kidd where you would be Sinn Féin exasert and Tehan Wachtrana. Agus bóta milltainna bunta maithaigh Martin McGuinness agus léironn se go bhfuil ní smó daoine ag tarraingt ag fís Sinn Féin agus an fís ó hiú cearta dé an fís ó hiú sasa suas an réagaine an fís fud aon tú na tíre seo agus tá muidirní aontainnt a brád is Martin McGuinness agus thug se misna do go leor daoine ar fud an tír seo ag gach ceann an tír ó Huaigh agus ó Haas agus leir dói agus obair milltainna genta ag Martin le ceir a seart na nuas.
Well, I think that Martin was a trailblazer, is a trailblazer, is the first Sinn Féin person to contest a presidential election. I think all the issues he brought in to the campaign just electrified it. If you recall, before his entry into the campaign, it was mediocre, it was lackluster, it was just there was no lift in it at all. The importance of the issues, whether it's voting rights for Irish passport holders, whether it's across the range of core Republican ideas and principles and core values that he offered up, or even the issue raised legitimately by some people who were victims of the IRA, all the issues which need to be dealt with and which need to be dealt with beyond this election campaign. I think his intervention in the front line was the game changer. Clearly it led to the surge in support for Michael D when Sean Gallagher's attempt to disguise himself as being a sort of a voluntary, casual supporter of Fianna Fáil. And there are many fine people in Fianna Fáil, let me say that. But Sean was actually part of the old Fianna Fáil, the old leadership. So I think all of that was to the good, and I want to thank Martin and Bernie and the McGuinness clan for yet another contribution, and thank all the people who worked for Martin and all those people who voted for Martin.
A lot said by the tally people on the transfers, especially Michael D to Martin McGuinness and vice versa. Does that point to the future?
Well, I think there are two interesting bits out of this. One is that Fine Gael, who very consciously, deliberately and strategically decided to run a negative campaign, and if you like, an anti-IRA campaign, using the grievances, legitimate grievances of victims, that we outpolled Fine Gael in every constituency in this state. And then the other bit is that it was Sinn Féin that helped to get Michael D elected, and clearly from each side of that, that's something, if you're thinking of strategizing and figuring out, who shares the generality of a vision. Obviously we have big issues with Labour because of their part in this government and their part of austerity policies, and the fact they're actually going to be party to giving away 700 million of taxpayers' money to unguaranteed bondholders next week. But all of that to one side, in terms of where the people are at, you can see what the people are prepared to support and what the people are not prepared to support.
Another massive day in Republican history and a massive day in your campaign. How does it feel, and what's your message to those who voted for you?
Well, the most important thing to do is to express my deepest thanks and gratitude to all of those who made the effort to go out and vote for me in this election. It's a further strengthening of the Republican vote. Tremendous. And I also want to express my deepest thanks to my campaign team. All over the island of Ireland, people worked very, very hard in this election, and I'll always be very indebted for them for the great energy and vibrancy that they put into the campaign. It's a further step forward. We can build on this. It's a further strengthening of the position, and quite clearly our brand of Irish republicanism is at the heart of Irish political life, and we're going to go from strength to strength as we have done in the past. So I think it all augurs well for the future. I'm delighted with the outcome, and I think we've had a big influence on the election, and we've made a huge impact.
Just back in me, lads.